Oh man, so another green day for Bitcoin, which despite the tensions around Russia and Ukraine has managed to post another green day, almost touching 45,000, and FANTOM is one of the few altcoins which is showing strength at the same time. We've got FANTOM up 3% in this video. We're going to look at the key levels on the FANTOM chart. We're going to look at why some other altcoins aren't moving and how FANTOM has managed to show some strength. I've also seen something interesting in the fundamentals, which I have to share with you. So make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you watch till the very end as you're going to get your daily dose of FANTOM. Don't forget, guys, we've spoken a lot in my previous videos today, particularly the Bitcoin one, about the narrative shifting. If you've not watched that video, please go watch that video because I explain why this particular pump, even though it just took us towards 45,000, and yes, we may fall back below 40 if the crisis continues and escalates, but I explained in that video why this pump is different, why this one is one truly for the narratives and one which gets me excited to continue to spend my time in crypto, investing time, money, and resource into crypto because it's a true product that is serving people in their time of need. So go watch that video, understand why this pump is absolutely different. Now, interestingly, what we can see in the charts is that FANTOM managed to move with it. So we had Bitcoin first. Let's take a look. This, the dotted line is when the market opened today. Had its run up to about 45, just shy of 45, and then now we're calling off back down. Like I said, it's perfectly fine. Even if we want to come down to our hourly EMA ribbon at 43,000 or even slightly lower at 42.5, that's perfectly fine, right? We can come down, collect a bounce within our EMA ribbon, even as low as 41,659 if we needed to, and then collect some strength to head back to the upside. But interestingly, FANTOM is moving with it. And we saw that as Bitcoin started to run up to 45, we saw FANTOM run up to 194, which we know is an important level for us here on FANTOM. And just as Bitcoin got rejected from that level, FANTOM called off at that level too. But really nice move. And this reminds us of how strong a project FANTOM is. You remember how well it was holding up when Bitcoin was falling? It's continuing to show strength out of the gates. When Bitcoin's out of the gates and showing any signs of green, like I've said for a long time, FANTOM is ready to go. It's primed. The technicals are ready. The fundamentals are ready. The team are ready. And the adoption is there with the marketing and the know-how where people know about this project and know that it's a good project now. It's ready to explode. It just needs Bitcoin to start climbing to the upside. So important levels for us. We could see a little calling off to 179. That's perfectly fine. Even coming down and penetrating the EMA ribbon a little bit more is perfectly fine. But the long-term narrative should give you confidence that when Bitcoin eventually does get running, you know, it may well be false starts while this crisis continues, but eventually it will subside. Eventually Bitcoin will pick its way up, and we know FANTOM is going to move powerfully to the upside when that happens. So we could be seeing a $2 FANTOM very, very soon, because if Bitcoin can get to our target price, which again, go watch the Bitcoin video for a detailed breakdown, but we need to get to the point where we got rejected. And that was when the CPI data came out on February the 10th. You remember my Bitcoin chart, I labeled it as rejection point. That is sitting at $45,500 per Bitcoin. Okay, so if we get to that level here on Bitcoin, I would fully expect FANTOM to push back to $2. So the question now arises, is it too late to enter FANTOM? I'm going to answer that question, but before I do that, I want to show you this because you're going to be blown away by this, because FANTOM is now 4th position in total value locked, and it is huge. A 64% move here, guys, on Terra and FANTOM, 64%. So 44%, sorry, on Luna, 64% here on FANTOM over just the last 7 days. I can tell you it wasn't in just the last 7 days. It was the last couple of days which has caused that. Again, if you don't know what's going on, go watch my video from earlier today where I explain what's happening with Luna. People are moving to decentralized methods to move their cash. That is why we're seeing a flock into Bitcoin, but we're also seeing people move out of USDC and Tether into UST, which is the algorithmically backed decentralized stablecoin on the Luna network. In terms of FANTOM, we know that if people are coming into crypto, they need to look for yield as well. And we know FANTOM has one of the best DeFi systems out there, and they're the most advanced in terms of DeFi. So we're seeing good total value locked coming into FANTOM, now back at almost 12 billion here. Remember, this is, if we click into, I can show you guys how it rose, it kind of dipped down and then it went back up. So if I show you that, this was our run up while Andre Cronje was doing his snapshot for his Solidly exchange. We then called off as we saw some of that money move back out, the money that was just in there for the allocation. And now we're seeing a massive climb back up in just the last couple of days here. This is huge here on FANTOM. It just goes to show how powerful of a platform this is. I mean, you can look at the specific projects and how they're growing. An 8,000% growth here in Solidly, which has just grown 2.3 billion in itself over a very short period of time. That's the Andre Cronje project we're talking about, okay? So huge progress here from FANTOM. Just goes to show that the fundamentals are in place. And now we need to get back to the question, is it too late? Have we missed the boat on this? Well, the first thing I want to say is, it's really important not to trace green candles. I know sometimes it can feel like that's the one that's got away, but we need to remember that things always retrace. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you should have had your positions already, right? You would have had good entry positions, you would have had good timing, and I'd question why you didn't buy when we had opportunities to buy as low as 129, right? Or even if you're around in December, why did you not buy as low as 115? Now, if you didn't manage to buy, the question then arises, okay, are you now chasing green candles or do you truly have conviction? And if the answer is you truly have conviction, this is not financial advice, but this still is a great area to buy. You guys know my rule of thumb, anywhere around this 200 moving average, I like it. And right now we're just gone through our 200-day moving average. We're trying to break above beyond it, okay? So you can see here, as high as we are 183, which is here, is just above our 200-day moving average, okay? 200 moving day average today is sitting at 179. So it's a good point to still enter. If you're looking to dollar cost average in for the long run, you will be pretty pleased with that. I mean, in essence, you're still buying at the bottom of M pattern, right? So it's boom, 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 buying at the bottom, and you're hoping we're going to run to the upside. So the answer to the question is, it's never too late. You're always going to get pullbacks. Don't chase green candles. Let it come to you. We know there's still plenty of volatility in the market left. Just because we had a pump of Bitcoin to 43, 44 doesn't mean that suddenly everything is going to change and now we're going to go to 50,000. No, there's a lot going on. And I can just flick over to CNBC and show you that the markets are down. You've got the Dow Jones down almost 2%, S&P down 1.5%, NASDAQ down 1.3%. It's a bloody market. Ukraine's president appeals to EU as vast Russian convoy nears Kiev. Okay, so we're getting a lot of stuff going on. I've got a notification here on Twitter right now. Russian Defense Ministry warns of high precision strikes in Kiev. There aren't signs of this de-escalating, right? We're in the midst of this, and at the moment the trajectory shows that it's getting worse. Oil surges 10% to $106 per barrel. Volatility index, which you can see here, is up almost 12%. Every indicator is showing you that we're in a crazy market right now, and if Bitcoin hadn't shown the fundamental changes which we've seen over the last 24 to 36 hours, this would be very different, because what we've seen in Bitcoin is Bitcoin was reacting to the market. When the market was red like this, Bitcoin was more red than the market. But because of the last 24 to 36 hours, we saw increased sanctions on Russia. We saw the most number of ruble-denominated Bitcoin transactions we've seen in a long time. We saw Canadians buying into Bitcoin at record levels. We've seen Ukrainians accepting donations through crypto. These are first world use cases proving that crypto is not just here for speculation. All those haters, all those naysayers who say that, explain this momentary decoupling that we're seeing. And the reality of the decoupling is we're seeing the use cases over the last few days. Now, will it last? Probably not. It'll probably correct to the downside a little bit because we're in a crazy environment. We can't expect Bitcoin just to run to 50,000, but it sets you up for the long run to go, hang on a second, this crypto thing is for real. It's a hedge against the existing system. When the existing fiat system let you down, when it let people in Russia down and people in Ukraine down and let the Canadians down and anybody else who's suffering down, crypto was there. It was decentralized. Nobody could freeze it. You could use it. You could click the link in the description below and get yourself set up on a TREZOR hardware wallet, and you'll get 25 euros for free for doing so, right? But it's protected, and you should have a hardware wallet, and you shouldn't trust the exchanges. Why? Because the likes of Coinbase, the likes of Binance, if the government comes knocking and says, turn over the details, they will do it. Why? Because they don't want to lose their license to transact. And that's the reality. We saw it with Apple. When the police and the government and the Fed comes knocking, they hand over the data. Here you go. Don't close me down, Apple. I need to sell iPhones, right? So the only thing you can trust is a decentralized approach. Hold your keys. If it's not your keys, it's not your Bitcoin. And that's the reality, right? We're seeing these oligarchs. We're seeing the Russians. We're seeing their assets being seized, which if you were caught up in the midst of this and you're an average Russian citizen who had nothing to do with this war, that's completely unfair. This is not like they're just saying we're tying the assets of those on the sanction list. They're doing it as a blanket. They're asking just all Russians to not be able to use Binance, right? This is crazy. So we need to make sure we're taking care of our assets. Link in description below for a Trezor hardware wallet if you're interested. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this update on FANTOM, really showing some good signs of strength. And for me, just further vindication that when Bitcoin gets running, when Bitcoin really starts to stretch its legs, once we're through this peak FUD and stressful time, and by the way, heart goes out to all of those affected by this conflict, but we have to keep our investment hat on. We have to keep our investment hat on. I'm here to steer you through this. I know it can be overwhelming. You can watch the news and get upset and depressed and annoyed about it and miss out on taking care of your investments, but we have a priority, we have a responsibility to take care of our investments, take care of our families, and make sure we're making the right decisions. So guys, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you subscribe if you appreciate these updates. Don't forget to check out the links in the description to your Trezor hardware wallet, and also the pinned comment will be the link to our free Discord server. Okay, what I'm going to do is at the end of this video, in the top right on the end card, I'm going to link you to the Bitcoin video from a few hours ago. Please go watch that video, because I do explain why this pump is different, and I mean it. From all the pumps I've seen in Bitcoin since I started investing many years ago, this one is different. I explain that, and that should hopefully give you some conviction when you're ready to dollar cost average or buy the dip. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.